Welcome back to Make It Stick. Let's do it. Anki. We got no flashcards due? Alright, well, I'm not losing my streak, so I'm just gonna do a random flashcard from a different set. Boom. Alright. That's a first in a long time. What did we learn about yesterday then? Make it stick. So I know we finished up, we're done with, yeah, I think we finished up yesterday tips for teachers. So, what, let me think here. Tips for teachers, we would have read about the teacher, yeah. Who just basically, that last summary for that teacher was basically, she does quizzes at the end of each class. Okay. All right. Then we talked about some of the public schools in Illinois, and some changes they're making to improve their school in evidence-based ways. So some of the classes are adding more of the low-stakes quizzes throughout the classes. This was the school district that we learned about that did some research on middle schoolers with like history, I believe, at first. Low-stakes quizzes really improved their scores, so incorporated more low-stakes quizzes throughout the course. Incorporating more writing and analysis assignments in order to try to help students get to that higher level of learning. More deeply engaged with, more deeply learned. And then they also incorporate more interleaving in spaced reps throughout the entire curriculum. No, not just curriculum, but in their entire like school career. So like, you might incorporate some concept in middle school and it's intentionally covered there, and then it's covered again in early high school and then late high school, and every time it gets deeper and deeper, dives deeper into those concepts. So space practice, really like that. So that's the end of tips for teachers. Some practical tips for teachers to help students improve learning outcomes, or improve learning for outcomes for students, as well as some like literal accounts, stories, anecdotes of actual teachers and how they incorporate some of these things, some of these tips. And then we started tips for trainers. So this is started out with in-services, so like doctors, professionals that need to continue to do continued education to keep their license and stuff. These in-services are typically on weekends, and it's just like mass practice, no, just dumping information, no retrieval, no space practice, no interleave. So there's really no learning that ended up occurring in the long term. And so some tips for people, or for in-service learning, is to get the PowerPoint slides, get the materials, quiz yourself, test yourself on the main ideas, as well as set up a spaced repetition system for the key ideas, whether that's an email system or I use Anki. And then they talked about some softwares that are being developed, a new, what is it called, QStream or something, where it's a corporate training system software that's built on the idea of a large focus on the testing effect, as well as OStream, I don't remember, QStream, OStream, no, Osmosis. Osmosis is like an online social media platform for like learning, kind of, it seemed like, but it's like crowdsourcing questions, examples for certain concepts for testing yourself and learning. And then we started talking about started learning about the next section, which was, dude, what was next? It was this business consultant, Makesner, business consultant who focuses on using like questions to probe clients instead of just telling them stuff. She gets them to come to their own conclusions and think through things, which is more active learning, as well as using role play to simulate more realistic situations and provoke more accurate thinking and longer lasting thinking. Then we started talking about Jiffy Lube. Farmers Insurance, which we just started. Farmers Insurance, which is a huge insurance company that has like independent agents, sales agents that have potentially agencies. And so how do they keep everyone trained? How do they train everyone corporate sales? It's part technical, it's part strategic, it's part brand and belief and company culture and all these other things. That's a difficult thing to train. So we're going to learn about how they do their corporate sales training now. So I'm going to go jump back in. Actually, let me make sure I got everything. Oh, QStream and Osmosis, got it. Yep. Yep, seminars, yep. All right, I'm gonna jump back in now to Farmers Insurance, and then I'll be back to recall what I've learned in a little bit, so talk to you in a second. All right, so we just read about, we finished up the reading about Farmers Insurance, and it's like a week-long training. You start off with creating a visual, like vision board, goal board, so that you can reverse engineer the steps you need to take in order to reach your goals through Farmers Insurance. And basically the week is like full of bottom-up learning rather than top-down learning. Bottom-up meaning active exercises and thinking in order to develop the skills needed, rather than being taught from the top down, just PowerPoints and lectures and stuff. None of that. And they basically encircle around the 4 core things for the business to succeed as a sales agent of Farmers Insurance, and that is sales skills, marketing systems, business advocacy or something. No, advocacy for the brand, and then business like acumen or business something around the idea of just like running the business. And they interleave these concepts throughout the week-long training session, and when they come back and they build on it, so it keeps getting more and more complex, sophisticated, keep building on the skills and interleaving them and using active exercises and questioning and quizzing in order to achieve the desired learning outcomes for their agents. Then we started reading about Jiffy Lube. That's a franchise, and they have for training their new employees, they have first an online e-learning, like web-based e-learning system full of quizzing. Once they pass that, then they can begin on-site training, and once they get graded based on like different services and skills they test, and they can get different certifications for different skills and training and services. And once they've gotten they've mastered the skill or the service, they get signed off by their supervisor and achieve a certification for that specific skill or certification that needs to be renewed every 2 years. So I think that's basically it. What was it? Business planning. And one thing is, I forgot, I just thought it was an interesting acronym they use. It's for how to best learn about a potential client, like a prospect, learn about them. They use the acronym FORE, so FORE, which is family, get to know about their family, their occupation, their recreation, and what they enjoy most. So that's interesting because there's 4 of them, and it's spelled 4 a different way, but it's 4 still. So anyway, we're on page 246. We have 7 pages left. Dude, I can't believe it. It's really like 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or really like 7. Yeah, 7 pages. That's crazy. We are a few days from being done with reading. Then we'll have the chapter 8 stuff, the quizzes, the Yankee cards, questions. And then we'll probably do a big wrap up of the book, like a video where I just talk about what I learned, the big takeaways, the most important ideas, to the best of my ability from recalling, and that might be it. So there's a chance we're done with this whole book within like around a week. And after it's been, I don't even know at this point, 15 weeks. To say it's almost a week away is like, where did the time go, dude? Anyway, that's for today. Talk to you tomorrow. See you.